Welcome to Dodgers Dawgs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. Fans, today we have a great show for you. We're going to finish up our draft coverage. We're going to cover draft picks 11 through 20 that the Dodgers took this past weekend, that they're the most current guys that the Dodgers are bringing into their system. So, hey, we mentioned yesterday that the Dodgers, they went heavy on the projectable type of tools, like with their position players, especially outfielders, because there's so many good outfielders in the system right now. They also went with some really kind of high caliber, high ceiling type of pitchers like Cam Leiter and guys like that. And today we're going to start with another, if I can open it up here, with another very projectable, high octane, right-handed pitcher, and that is Dylan Tate, who was taken as the 11th pick, the 345th pick overall in the 2025 draft, the 11th pick of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Tate, he is a guy that pitched for OU, so I know all about this guy. He has an electric arm, and he pitched for Skip Johnson. Skip Johnson was the pitching coach at University of Texas for a long time, one of the best pitching coaches in the United States of America, hands down. And so anybody who pitches for Skip Johnson is going to know what they're doing. They're going to be very good. And first of all, he wouldn't bring them into the program if they weren't good. So that's plus number one for him. But then he has the 98 mile an hour, going to reach 100 miles an hour fairly easily, right armed as Dylan Tate. So this is another guy like Cam Leiter that we talked about yesterday that has an electric arm, coming off of injury, didn't pitch a whole lot last year, got back and helped OU a little bit. Thank you for joining on the TikTok side, user 6481. And Michael Anderson, thank you so much for joining. Make sure and leave a comment. That way we can keep the chat going. If you have any questions about any of the draft picks or any prospects or anything like that, let me know. We are not live on YouTube, but we are going to, after I get done with this, we're going to premiere this, and then we are going to get after it from that perspective on YouTube. So Dylan Tate finally came back last year towards the end and helped OU, although they did not make the College World Series. So he did get back, so he is healthy right now. I would think he will ramp up. Probably, if he's healthy, will make likely Rancho at the end of this year. If he's throwing strikes, that's the key to him. Like all these young power pitchers, got to get the ball in the strike zone, no doubt. And the thing about it is, OU has a very good baseball program. They won the national championship in '96. They were in the final series 2 or 3 years ago. I remember they went on the road and beat Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech team that had Nick Biddison, who is on the Tulsa AA Drillers roster right now. So they have a very good program, but make no mistake about it, the University of Oklahoma, OU, 100% is a football school. Now they do have SEC money, so we'll see with the 345th pick what the Dodgers are able to offer Dylan Tate. If OU, a guy who's throwing at 100 miles an hour, if they think that he is very valuable to his team, a guy that they just can't do without, I would imagine OU will have the funds to match whatever the Dodgers will be able to offer Dylan Tate. So I think it'll just be a matter of whether he just wants to stay college or whether he wants to go pro. So fastball that has touched 98 to 99 and a good slider, two-pitch pitcher, no doubt about it. This is a Michael Kopech, Edgardo Henriquez type of back-end reliever, closer type. If he can learn how to throw enough strikes, command the strike zone enough, definitely a back-end type of bullpen guy, closer type setup for him with the big fastball and the slider. So that's Dylan Tate. The Dodgers took him with their 11th pick. Again, the 340th pick, 45th pick overall. Big right arm out of the University of Oklahoma. So there's a good look at him. Let's move to our next draftee, which was the 12th pick for the Dodgers, 375th pick overall, and it is pitching and more pitching. I love this guy, Lance Lunsford. Not because, the exact opposite of Dylan Tate and some of these other guys. He doesn't throw 1,000,000 miles an hour. Okay, he started at Missouri, ended up at Wake Forest. Here's another guy. Wake Forest has one of the best pitching labs in all of the United States. Okay, the Demon Deacons there. Pete Hubeck was going to go there, and he will attest that Wake Forest, they use a lot of analytics the same way the pros do. And so he's going to know spin rate. He's going to know, like I was talking with one of the pitching coaches in the system over the weekend, and they were mentioning how with some guys, the more velo you get, the more movement it creates. Other guys, the more velo they have, it actually flattens out the movement. We've always grown up in the 80s to where for every mile an hour that you throw, you lose 1 inch of movement. That's actually not the case. And it's not the case, at least it's not the case for everybody. So with some guys that have the tighter spin, because they have the tighter spin, the harder they throw, the more their ball moves. So I say all that to say, you can't just look at that big old bomb that he just dropped right there. Look at that changeup. That is absolutely wicked. You can't just say, there's another wicked changeup that you want a guy to throw slower because he's going to get more movement, or if he throws harder, he's going to get less movement. It is literally different for every single pitcher. I say that to say he has learned all that stuff at Wake Forest. That's the principles that the Dodgers developmental system will work on. So they will get him in the Dodgers lab. They will figure out at what spin, at what velo, at what everything in terms of the advanced analytics works the best for each one of his pitches, and he will understand it, and he will understand how to take that and move it into game action. And because of that, I'm super excited about Lance Lunsford. I just think he has an advanced understanding of how to use the carry of his fastball to get outs more so than the velocity. See that right there? That's about 93 miles an hour. But he just, right there, 90 miles an hour. He just blew away a Division I hitter. And then he matched that with an 81-mile-an-hour slider. So he's making the hitters are making his fastball in this video look like it is 100 miles an hour when it's only 89 to 90. And that's because, and he's carrying the bottom of the zone there. That's because he understands how to use spin rate and carry to make his fastball play up. And that's something that I think will be very good. Then he also has that big slider, the big curveball that we've seen, that one there, and then the dirty changeup, that one there. So he has a lot to offer in terms of pitch mix, does Lance Lunsford, and you got a good look at it there. So the curveball, the changeup are good, but what he doesn't have right now is a bridge pitch. So what I'm curious to see, so he has, like the 90 or whatever, then the 80. So can the Dodgers add, see, there's the 80. You saw the 90 on the fastball. There is a 71. So he has 90, 80, 71, 71 to 74. What I'm curious to see, will the Dodgers add a cutter or a smaller slider to have a bridge between the 90 and 80? So can he add an 85-mile-an-hour pitch to bridge the fastball to the changeup, and then the changeup, obviously the curveball bridges itself because it has so much movement. But I'll be curious to see if they add a bridge pitch, which would be a slider or a smaller slider or a cutter or something like that. But there's a good look at Lance Lunsford. Super excited about him and just the advanced understanding of how to pitch that he has. It is very obvious when you watch him. So stay tuned for him. We'll see where he starts out. But with his advanced understanding of how to pitch, I would be surprised if he is at the complex very long. I would think that he'll move up to Rancho fairly soon. Again, I have no inside information on that whatsoever. Just based on my experience in the game and knowing how these things work and how the Dodgers work, that would be my best guess. So staying on the pitching side, staying on guys who have huge right arms. So we talked about Dylan Tate. That needs to, is he going to master the command and control thing? Now here we go to a West Virginia right-hander, Robbie Porco, 6'8". Again, with a right arm that is just absolutely electric. So if you want to think of the type of draft prospect this was, the type of draft pick it was, think Eric Swan, think Patrick Copen. This is the type of guy and type of pitching draft prospect that Robbie Porco is. Big and tall, still very raw, still doesn't throw enough strikes, and because of that, he actually didn't get to pitch for long periods of time this last year at West Virginia because he wasn't throwing strikes enough. So the thing about that is a college season goes by so fast that you have to win games. You don't have time to let a guy go out there and just develop. I mean, you only have a handful of games that you can give away like that in the sake of development. The thing about the minor leagues is he's going to have 6 months for multiple years that, hey, yes, winning matters in the minor leagues because you want to teach your guys how to win, but still he's going to have opportunities to go out every single time, probably every 2 out of 3 days, maybe every 2 out of 4 days, or every other day. Whether he's throwing strikes or not, he's going to continue to get ran out there until he proves over a long period of time. When I say long period of time, I mean multiple years, that he's just never going to figure it out. Okay? So the pro setting is going to be, in my opinion, a much better developmental system, a much better developmental setting for Robbie Porco than I think the college setting would. So I would not be surprised if he doesn't excel just like Eric Swan has, just like Patrick Copen has. Fastball right now, 95 to 97. That's where it sits, but it has touched upwards to 100 miles an hour. So he was offered, actually kind of an interesting story about Robbie Porco. He was offered an NIL deal there in Morgantown to go hang out with certain people, which would draw people into a business. And he said, sure, I'll do it. I need $1. So he offered to do an NIL deal for $1. That's pretty cool. So we'll see how Robbie Porco goes and how he develops in the system with his big fastball. And so stay tuned there. We'll see how long he stays at the complex when he gets ramped up, trying to get all of those parts of his execution piece all figured out and ready to go for affiliated baseball. So to our next pick, I should say, 5'11", 163-pounder right-handed relief pitcher Davis Chastain. Got to see him. My Oklahoma State Cowboys went to Georgia for the regionals, so I know all about Davis Chastain. Let me go ahead and type a comment to the YouTube, or to the TikTok crowd here. Let me know if you have any questions. That way we can be communicating back and forth, and TikTok will like me in this live stream. So let's do that right there. Okay, so Davis Chastain started his career at Georgia State, spent 2 years at Georgia State, then transferred to Georgia this past season, which was his junior season. Relief pitcher, lots and lots of swing and miss. Now, he's very similar to who we just got through talking about in Lance Lunsford. Doesn't throw the ball a million miles an hour and still mastering the control and command type of thing, just like all these guys are. But he has a lot of swing and miss. Again, the professional setting is going to give him plenty of time to figure all that out. Todd Ennis, Hot Sauce, Mr. Matt, Donna Rock, Sullivan, JBJ, Mason, Tommy Mack. Thank you guys all so much for joining on the TikTok side. We have another great crowd. Make sure and leave a like. If you're as we watch this on the YouTube side on a premiere, make sure and leave a like and leave a comment for this video, please. So Chastain started at Georgia State, four-seam, slider, curveball, and can touch mid-90s with his fastball. So he's not like 1,000 miles an hour, but he definitely has enough mustard behind his fastball to be very effective and to make his slider and curveball play up, both of which are very good pitches. So what I like about Davis Chastain, when I see him here, I see Gavin Stone. Gavin Stone was an incredible athlete, okay? Gavin Stone was a basketball player that was one of the best athletes on the basketball floor every time he took the floor. Another guy seeing him is Chris Campos. Chris Campos was the starting shortstop at St. Mary's. I also see River Ryan, who was a two-way player when he came to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, not necessarily in pitch mix and just style of pitching, but I say that to say the Dodgers love extremely athletic pitchers, because the thing about it is, with all these advanced analytics, it's going to tell you down to the minute detail exactly what you need to be doing with your body to achieve the exact results that you're wanting. So it's going to say, hey, the best version of Davis Chastain's slider is if it breaks this amount at this velocity on this plane. So then what the Dodgers pitching coaches will do is they will figure out what Davis Chastain, or whatever pitcher it is, has to do from a physical perspective to get their body in a position to match all of those analytics to create the best version of themselves. So the better athlete you are, the more limber you are, the better just you can move and that kind of thing, the more likely it is that you're able to do the body movements that you need to do to get your body in a position to throw the pitches that the TrackMan is telling you maximize the effectiveness of all of your different pitches. So to have a great athlete, just, obviously fielding the bunts and fielding your own position is a big deal, like we saw with Greg Maddux for so many years, but also just the athletic ability to get in the positions to throw the type of pitches that you need to maximize is important. So I really love the fact Davis Chastain, very competitive. He's used to high leverage situations. He wants the ball, but also he is a great athlete. So there's a good look at Davis Chastain. And as we move on down the list, we're going to move to our next pitching prospect, and that would be Matt Lansenorfer, left-handed pitcher. I love his story. He finished his college career at UVA, but that's damn sure not where he started, okay? We talked about a pitcher yesterday starting at MIT. So this is the second pitcher in the draft that the Dodgers have taken that started their college career at the Division III level. Lansenorfer started at Division, of course, the first pitcher was because it was MIT. This one here, Lansenorfer, he started Division III Misericordia. I've never heard of it, so I'm probably saying this wrong. Misericordia or Misericordia. It's one of those two. If I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. And he helped them win a national title, of which you're seeing the national title. That's the last pitch there for the national title. So after he helped Misericordia win their national title at the D3 level, he then got recruited and went to the University of Virginia last year. Underwent UCL repair surgery. He actually underwent the UCL repair surgery while he was at Misericordia, and he actually dealt with the pain throughout the entire rest of the season. Had the UCL repair surgery at the end of the season, and was a nursing major, which pays a lot more than minor league baseball does at UVA. So he has a decision to make of which road to follow. At least he did going into UVA. He chose baseball. Finished off the national championship game on the mound that you saw. Transferred to UVA after 4 years. So he was a grad transfer last year. And last year for the Who's, he went 4-2, ERA of 2.90, 22 appearances on the pen. And he also recorded a team best 5 saves. So as far as the mix for Lansenorfer, fastball that he uses to ride the top of the zone and a slider that is effective to both righties and lefties. His fastball is a 91 to 93 range. So there's a good look at Matt Lansenorfer, and we're going to move away from the pitching side now and move to a guy that I really, really enjoy watching hit. I've had a chance to see him hit on TV. Never seen him live, obviously, but I've had a chance to watch him hit on TV probably 5 or 6 times. I love that swing. I absolutely love that swing of A.J. Soldra. 16th pick was Soldra. Pick number 495 of the MLB draft. He is committed to go to UConn. And if you know anything about UConn, that's where Ben Kasparius went. Tom Penders has the Huskies rolling. And so I think they're independent in baseball. They may be in the athletic conference in baseball. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I wouldn't imagine they have a gigantic budget on baseball. But again, the 495th pick. So it'll just all depend on whether Soldra, just from a want-to perspective, wants to start his professional career, or whether he wants to go back home. He's from Connecticut, so whether he wants to become a pro or whether he wants to actually go back home like Ben Kasparius did. Ben Kasparius, he started in North Carolina and transferred back into Connecticut. That's exactly what Soldra is doing here. Soldra from Connecticut went to Seton Hall to begin with, is transferring, if he doesn't go pro, will transfer to the University of Connecticut, play for Tom Penders. Just finished off a great Cape Cod league. He drew rave reviews in the Cape Cod. Very direct path to the baseball. I love that. If you follow, look at that direct path. I mean, just no wasted movement in terms of the path of his hands, his bat path, or any of it. If you follow Dodgers Day at all, I love those direct pass and the flat pass because it allows for just so much adjustability. He also does a great job of staying behind the ball And then after all that, after he's flat, after he stays behind the ball, watch the buggy whip right there. Buggy whip that barrel with the top end. That's why he has a lot of impact. He has a lot of, watch this, buggy whip. See how he uses his top hand to buggy whip that barrel? And then because of that, he has a lot of impact. So he has the best of all worlds. He stays behind the ball. He's flat to the ball. He's direct to the ball. But yet, see, he's showing that buggy whip. But yet he has that buggy whip at the top end with the barrel. And because of that, I think he has the chance to be a very good hitter first. That can do that there from occasion. That's actually video from Yarmouth Dennis, which was the team that he played with, the Red Sox at the Cape Cod League, to be a great hitter and then also a young man that can hit some home runs too. So I really, really like this young man, A.J. Soldra. He turns the barrel very, very well. So the next guy we're going to talk about is really an interesting case here that we will talk about, and that is a young man that went to the University of Missouri, Mizzou, and he actually was a quarterback. This is Sam Horn. And then the Dodgers drafted him with the 17th pick, 525th pick overall. But if he returns back to Missouri, he will definitely be, now it's not going to be, he's not like the incumbent starter like it's guaranteed that Sam Horn 100% will be the starter. But having said that, he's going to be right in the thick of the race. And so Sam Horn, if he chooses to go back to Mizzou, will have a chance to be the starting quarterback for Missouri, and then obviously play baseball in the spring if he so chooses to do that, or if he just wants to get ready for the draft. I would have to assume that he would. So there's an interesting situation being the 525th pick. Will he go pro, or will he go back to Missouri and be a two-sport star there for the Tigers? So Horn missed the beginning of the 25 season last year, this last spring, recovering from Tommy John. So he didn't pitch much this year, just 10 2/3 innings. He missed all of the football season last year. And so the Dodgers, just like on Leiter and all these other guys, they are taking a chance, Dylan Tate, taking a chance on upside from a guy who's been injured that has a lightning bolt for a right arm. Okay? 6'4", good extension, low arm slot that you're seeing here, good fastball, capable of reaching the upper 90s, typically sits 94 to 96. You can see that good carry to the bottom of the zone. And he also has a good slider that will sit in the low 80s and a sweeper. So a good look there at Sam Horn, a young man who is the quarterback at the University of Missouri. We'll see if he goes back and which way he chooses, whether he chooses to start his professional career or go back and finish one last year at Missouri. Here is another right-handed pitcher that has a really tight arm motion. This is Finn Edwards that the Dodgers took with their 18th pick, 555th pick overall. Another long, tall, projectable pitcher. Pitched at Iowa Western. If you know anything about college baseball, Iowa Western is an awesome JUCO. I mean, awesome JUCO. Oklahoma State had Braden Smith on its team this last year. Braden played with Finn Edwards at Iowa Western. OSU's had a couple of really nice players come out of there. Iowa Western always produces great baseball players. So super excited about that aspect of it. Super excited about the fact that he's long and projectable. And by the way, he is committed to go to Arizona State if he does not go pro. Now, let me say this. Coach Bloomquist at Arizona State, he has it rolling. Arizona State is going to fund all 34 scholarships. They are going to have whatever NIL money they're going to need to become one of the blue bloods again in college baseball. So I'll say this, if they think Finn Edwards and his gigantic size and his long, tall frame is a guy that they can't do without, they will be able to offer Finn Edwards more money than the professional ranks will. And then Finn Edwards still has 2 years of eligibility left, so he could go theoretically to Arizona State, get drafted again, determine whether he likes that draft slot, and then go back to Arizona State for a fourth year and get drafted 3 different times. So it's definitely not guaranteed the Dodgers get this young man, because I'm telling you, Arizona State's in the Big 12. They are getting ready to get big time. It is a very attractive situation to become a Sun Devil right now, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, definitely for Finn Edwards. And so the next guy we're going to talk about is a guy that I really like, that I've seen many different times at Oregon. And this is Anson Aeros. If I can actually get to his video, let's get to it right there. Anson Aeros is a young man. Look at that catch. Let me back that up. He's playing left fielder. Watch him. Go get that young man. Not a boy. Anson Aeros. What a great athlete he is. So imagine that athletic ability as a catcher. Okay? The Dodgers love versatility. Look at that left field. Go get it, young man. So you've seen him climb the wall. Now you've seen him come in and dive. Now you're seeing him hit a bomb from the left side. He's a switch hitter. Probably has more power right now from the left side, but he's probably more accomplished from the right side. So a great athlete, versatile because he can play outfield, he can catch, he can switch hit, and he's played in a really nice program at Oregon. 19th pick, 585th pick overall, and 17 home runs last year for the Ducks. Projects as a gap-to-gap type guy, not necessarily a home run hitter, more of a gap-to-gap type hitter where he could collect a lot of hits, but then also do that quite a bit and hit some home runs. So very good defensive catcher, very athletic, very quick that you've seen. Moves well from side to side, the side that you've already seen. That's going to help him block balls. Strong arm, very good release. Has the tools to be a very, very good professional catcher, switch hitter. There's really nothing not to like about Anson Aeros, especially at the slot that the Dodgers took him in. We'll see if the Dodgers can offer him enough money to keep him, to actually get him to turn pro. So keep your eye on that situation. So the young man that the Dodgers took last in the Mr. Irrelevant spot, not to say that he is irrelevant at all, that is Shane Brennham. Anything but irrelevant. As a matter of fact, this young man grew up in Canada and is going to Michigan. So Michigan's a very good baseball program, so definitely not irrelevant whatsoever. Four-seam fastball, loves to ride the top of the zone with it. His four-seam and two-seam have run to it, so he has a four-seam and a two-seam, so it runs away from lefties and in on righties as a left-hander. Currently in the upper 80s with his velocity. You've got to think that will improve, I would imagine. He could get that up to around 92, 93, 94 as he gets bigger and stronger as a pro. So a lot of room to grow there. He has already touched 93. There was a slider, which is a good pitch, and a change that he does a good job of using down the zone. So again, from Canada, North Vancouver, which on the surface might not seem like a great baseball situation, but I can tell you OSU has recruited several different Canadians. And what they do is they get in these academies and these baseball clubs, and then these baseball clubs, they travel throughout the United States and play colleges and great competition. That's what Shane Brennham has done. So while he's from Canada, and that may on the surface not sound like a great baseball setup, it's absolutely awesome because he's played tremendous competition traveling around to these different locations in the United States, including Southern California, to gain competition. So, hey, that is our draft coverage. That's actually going to finish it. We covered 1 through 10 yesterday. Today was 11 through 20. I hope you've enjoyed all of our coverage on the TikTok side. I hope you've enjoyed all of just learning about these draft picks as I have, as we've kind of studied them and put the stuff out there. So I hope you've enjoyed our draft coverage. So until next time, which will be, let's see, today is Wednesday, probably Friday before we have another video. Not sure. Might put up a video tomorrow. We've got several interviews we're still going to release. Just turn on your notifications. This is kind of a week off. I will not be in town on Friday. The beautiful bride and I of 26 years on August 1st are going on a little mini vacation. So we're going to have a hell of a good time. And that trumps all of you people as much as I love all of you Dodgers dogs. So, hey, until next time, just keep your notifications open. I want to thank you for tuning in and remind you that it's always a great day to be a Dodger.